welcome to Luxe Life. I'm your host, Candice Bar, and as you can see, we're not in studio today. I'm recording or doing it from my home, and I'm so excited for today's interview. This woman is everything that our show is about: female empowerment, entrepreneurship, getting over hurdles, figuring things out, and going through life in between building a company and a business. So I'd love to introduce Miss Cheryl Lee to Luxe Life. Welcome to Miss Cheryl. We're so excited to have you. I mean, you're quite the entrepreneur. You're everything, like I said, the show is about. And so what we do on this show is we talk about the entrepreneur's journey and story, because everybody always has one. And it's always interesting. You'll never hear the same story twice, that's for sure.
No. No.
So you have, well, first of all, let's let everyone know what company that you own, because I'm so excited about it. You're actually new to the Luxe Media family. You'll be having your show with us, and we're doing some PR stuff with you, which we're so excited about. But let them know what you're doing.
Yes, my company's name is RocaBella Brands.
Love it.
RocaBella Brands is named after Jennifer Lopez and Celine Dion.
I love it.
You can play in the dirt during the day and dress to the nines at night.
I love it. And the packaging is so sexy.
Thank you.
So, you know, being a female, right here. I love the packaging.
Thank you.
Being a female in that industry is super rare.
And it's hard.
It's very hard, and which is probably why a lot of females haven't done it. But
takes a lot of strength, strong will, and determination. Yeah.
Yes, I think like most things, if you knew what you were getting yourself into, you probably wouldn't do it, which is why it's like one step at a time.
I love a challenge.
Yes.
I do.
Like I said before to you, in my opinion, which I don't think I'm too off base here, I think you're the next Bethany Frankel.
Thank you.
But I would say more to come, honestly.
Yeah, I was with the same distributor that she was with, MHW, in Long Island.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's get into the story. Where are you from? How did this all get started?
All right. Well, I was born and raised in Jersey City. I have two brothers, and I moved down to Tom's River in 1992, and my husband and I, Mark, got married. And I have three children: Jennifer, who's a longshoreman, my son Mark, who is a Jersey firefighter, and my daughter Christine, who has her master's in clinical psychology. And I have a grandson, Sebastian, he's 13, and my granddaughter Demetria, she's 2.
Fabulous, fabulous. And so you're from Jersey.
Yes.
You're East Coast, and you're still there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, where did you get this idea to start this brand and this company?
All right. So basically, not realizing how it really started was in the 80s when I was living in Jersey City. We would have a lot of family barbecues. And, my husband was a firefighter and my brother was a police officer and stuff. And we, knew a lot of people in our community, and we would love to have company, and the family would come over, and we would just have, barbecues and have a great time. And I would always be the one that was making the cocktails. So what I used to do is I used to take everybody else's vodka, tequila, rum, and fruit punches and fresh fruits and put it in a big, huge styrofoam box up with ice with some sherbet. And I would feed, everybody would drink it, and we would all have a great time. And it was delicious. So then people started asking me to make it for baby showers, bridal showers and stuff. And then in 1992, when I got married, I moved down to Tom's River. My children, got into sports and stuff. So we really didn't have a lot of parties. But when we did, I used to be the cocktail maker. And in 2019, well, I can go back because in 2019 is when I started, but there was a reason behind it for that.
Right.
My husband, Mark, had passed away in 2014 from a 9/11 related illness. And he was running a Christmas drive with the Jersey Fire Department. And at the time, his last Christmas drive was 2013 December, and he had asked us if we would take on his legacy, my son and I. My son being on the job now, and myself, and we were always in the back helping him, the back scenes. And at the time, there's 2,300 kids, like I said, and then in 2014, my son and I took it over with the help of the community, the firefighters, the companies that have been working with my husband for over 30 years, family and friends. We all came together and we made it a huge spectacular in honor of Captain Markley, which it became the Captain Markley Fund. So from there, we
Amazing.
grew, yes. And myself wanting a challenge, and I wanted to make him proud and keep his legacy going. We expanded it to schools with the children, the disabled children, St. Barnabas Burn Unit, the projects, churches, everyone that needed help at the time. We were there, Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And my son started to take on his own with the Boys and Girls Club and helping families outside of the Christmas drive. And we brought it to 8,000 children.
Wow.
So
wow.
I did a Christmas spectacular for one of the boys, young boys that had passed away, Mikey. He had died of brain cancer, and him and I became very close. I was very close to his family. And I wanted to do a Christmas spectacular for all the, the beautiful, special needs children. And we did that at Chuck E. Cheese. We partnered with Chuck E. Cheese, and it was fabulous.
Beautiful.
We came every January. I would get myself physically stressed out. I would be, so sad and everything. And my son basically was like, Mom, I think you did enough. You brought the Christmas drive to exterminate. Like, we couldn't even believe that what you did, like how you worked so hard. Now it's time for you to do something for yourself.
Right.
I'll take over with the firefighters and the community, and we'll keep, working with the companies, and you can help us out. So he walked out the door. It was a Saturday, and I sat in my kitchen and I said, oh, what would I like to do? What really could I do? And I said, I know what I could do. I can create my own spirits brand.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took fruits that I had in my house, and then I went to Stop and Shop, and I got a bunch of fruits and everything, and I soaked them in a vodka.
Okay.
And a gin and everything. So then my son comes home, and he says, did you decide what you want to do? I go, yeah, I know what I want to do. And he goes, what's that? I go, I want to start my own vodka company. He says, are you kidding me, Mom? Ma, are you really kidding me? Do you know who you're going up against? Come on, Ma. There's no way you could do this. I go, son, put it in your calendar. I'm telling you right now, I'm creating my own spirits brand. And the only person that I am in competition with is myself.
True. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make it work. I got this. And he was just like, Mom, the spirits industry is saturated. I said, okay, we'll see. I said, I said, go to your clock and we'll put it in on your timer for a year from now. So that was 2019.
Okay.
So the name, my international partner that I work with and stuff, and we were coming up with, a name, and they were like, what, you're solid as a rock. You're like a J-Lo, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then I'm solid as a rock, and then Celine Dion at the time, was taking, God, rest the soul of her husband, was taking care of her husband who had passed away, and, and she was really a Bella, she's beautiful voice and very well respected in the industry and stuff. So I just put the two together.
No, I want to rewind and ask you, because I think it's an important conversation for people to hear, because I'm sure someone has gone through this that is listening or watching the show. How do you be able, I don't know if you're able to move on from that, but how are you able to kind of pick yourself up and move forward from your husband passing away? Your lives were so connected and so intertwined.
Right. So everything that I do, just like when I used to tell my children when they used to walk out this door, that just be respectful, be honest, and remember that you're representing your parents. Well, I'm representing my husband.
Yeah.
I'm representing my children now. Yeah. Now the role is reversed. So I had to, you know, as my husband would say, strap up your boots, pick up those pants
Yes.
and go on,
Yes.
you know, and I'm strong-willed. I'm a Leo. I'm strong-willed. I'm determined to
Mm-hmm.
be successful,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy. It's a long journey. And my journey was hard
Yeah.
in a lot of different aspects of my life when my husband had passed away. But then I have a backstory of my parents, but um that even made me stronger,
Mm.
and to deal with that, to me, I knew that he can breathe again. I knew that he was my guardian angel.
Yeah.
I knew that he would be right here on my shoulder, and
Mm.
he'd be up there rooting me on and saying, "You got this, Shirley. You got this. You could do
Mm.
it." And
Mm.
that's what gets me going. And it's not easy. It's not easy.
It
And
never is. And
I sit like,
anything worth it is not going to be easy.
no. And you got to realize my launch party was in 2020.
Wow.
That weekend, they closed the whole entire state down.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So now I have 10,000 bottles, just got a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
They closed the state down. We're in
Mm-hmm.
lockdown. There's a pandemic. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did I do
Right.
was I knocked on doors. I made phone
Yeah.
calls. I
Yeah.
told my story. I went to festivals. I gave out samples.
Yeah.
I entered contests. I went to people's barbecues, little small barbecues that they had. I had my friends and family supporting me,
Mm.
but that only can last for so long,
Right.
So I am a people person. I love to get out there and I love to meet people, and I want to know my retailers. I want them to know me
Yes.
personally, and I want
Yes.
to know my customers.
Yes.
And I would go to my tastings and festivals and knock on people's doors. And 4th of July weekend, I finally got a liquor store. Kelly Liquors was one of my first liquor stores, and he was delivering and stuff.
Mm.
And Kelly, we decided, to come up with um, a 4th of July holiday delivery.
Okay.
So my COO at the time, Maurizio, he came up with that idea for us to go and hand deliver RocaBella to our customers. Well, little
Smart.
did we know that we were going all the way from Sayreville, all the way down to Wildwood, New Jersey,
Wow.
hand delivering
Wow.
and thanking them. So Maurizio and his wife Yolanda, they went. The guy with me at the time, one of my sales guys, was Todd. He went. I
Mm.
went. It was unbelievable knocking at the
Mm.
doors, and we had so much support. So that was great.
Mm.
Then I started doing a lot of charity events. I'd make baskets, the golf outings. Would buy a golf hole, and I would go there and do RocaBella tastings, and I do a
Mm.
gift basket.
Mm.
So I knew that was a good angle because, like, again, I love being around people and I love meeting people. And then when you go to these tastings, they'll be like, "Oh wow, who's the CEO of the company?" And I go, "Me." And they like, "No way." And I give them my brochure, and they open up and see my picture, and they'll be like, "Wow, this is unbelievable." And
Mhm.
then things started to open up, and like I said, I got ShopRite, Total Wines. I mean, I was getting in the the big retailers, which I wanted. And I then I started to go to them directly, and I would say to them, like, "Do you know who owns that?" And people on the register, and they'd be like, "No." And I'd say, "Oh, you never met them?" And they say, "No." And I'd say, "Hi, I'm Cheryl from RocaBella."
Mm.
You know, so I want to stand out and be unique and different from everyone
Yeah.
else. Now, there's a lot of women in the wine industry.
Oh, so many.
So
So
many,
many.
right. And wine is
Yes.
very different than spirits.
Yes.
I just don't go and put a label on my product. I create
Yes.
my products.
Yes.
And,
Yes. Yes.
you know, and I want to keep doing that. And I want
Yeah.
to, yes, I want my customers to come and tell me what they like, what they don't like, you know. So and just keep building. And like I said, now I have my premium vodka. It went from, people are like, "Wait a minute, you didn't even get this sold, and you're doing this." And I said, "You don't understand something. In this industry, you're not a one-stop wonder. You got to keep going. So you got to keep creating and building. So
Right.
I'm going to take that chance, and I'm going
Right.
to put out my premium vodka. I did the same thing. I won double
Absolutely.
gold. Then I was going for my cocktails because everybody was drinking the cocktails. Well, little do
Hmm.
I know that there's an aluminum shortage.
Oh,
So
wow.
now, yeah, there was aluminum shortage. So now I have to go back, say, oh my, what do I do now? And I already paid for the juice and everything. I already sent it. Went to Florida. Citrus Distillery in Florida
Mm,
is my distillery, and I have to regroup. So now I
mm.
have to go, and I said, okay, I'll make cocktails, all natural, 3, 4 flavors, cocktails, perfect. Let's go do tastings. Well, we did tastings with 100 participants from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania, and I got
Okay.
100 across the board. Bingo, I said. There goes my delightful Cheryl Lee.
Wow.
There goes, yeah. So I said, okay, and then I will go back to the seltzers. I will go back to that, but I'm going to put a twist on it now because there's a lot of seltzers out there.
Mm,
So then I started meeting other women on Instagram
yeah.
that were at home making cocktails uh, in their house, the same thing, but they were using tequila or they're using rum, Bacardi, different stuff like that. So I was doing Facebook Lives, and it would be cocktails, with Cheryl.
Yeah.
And I would take 1800 tequila and put it with RocaBella and it was delicious. But I would make a smoothie. I would do different stuff. So I was getting a lot of messages from other women on Instagram asking me if I would speak with them. And I said, sure, no problem. So
Mm,
I would speak with them on the phone, and they would ask me, how do you do it? How was this? And I said, listen, I have no problem teaching you. I have no problem. There's
right.
enough room for everybody,
Absolutely.
you know, and everybody's palate's different. There's things, there's some people don't like coconut. There's people that love coconut. There's people that don't love pineapple,
Right.
So um I I met one woman up at a fashion show up in Patterson, and her stuff was delicious. And she's from the Dominican Republic originally, and I, you know, uh, try to help her a little bit. But I told her I would do um, a show with her, a podcast, and her and I come together, RocaBella and her stuff. I had no problem with that. Um, and that's just who I am. So I don't mind helping other women, and I love empowering other women, and I love being around strong women, and we learn from each other. You know,
Absolutely.
there's things that
We feed off each other, and I think you and I talked about this maybe on the phone once. There's more and more of us, more female entrepreneurs coming out of the woodwork. We're all coming up where it's kind of rising. There needs to be a lot more, but at least it's happening. We're on a cycle now.
right, right.
So empowering. You don't lose anything giving someone else time and energy.
No, and you gain a friendship,
Yes, absolutely.
and you're
Yeah.
there to lift each other up. That's what this world
I
needs.
mean, I talk about all the time on the show. It's females for whatever reason, for the longest time, it's not competition anymore. It's collaboration. Like, let's get together and do this together and rise up faster, and really inspire the next generation.
Exactly, and they need that. And me, I love the underdog. That's one thing. In
Yeah,
hiring for my company,
absolutely.
I don't need that college degree. I don't need any of that. I
Hmm.
like the fresh, young, eager,
Yes. Yes.
young woman or
Yeah.
young man. I
Yep.
don't need that. I want to teach them. We learn together,
Absolutely.
and you take care of each other. That's how I see it. You
As
know,
long as you're putting action towards something and hustling, like, you can be taught anything.
right, right. And getting into a big distributor and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a good thing, or sometimes it's a bad thing,
Mm,
because if you're not known and you don't have what they need. You
mm,
you might be the whole package, except there's other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that
mm.
you need that you might not have. So um I sell myself, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay, I'm not going to need you in a year. And I'm not being cocky, but I'm just like, you know what? Like, You know what? And then I'm like, you know what? I really don't need to be with those big distributors because I'm going to get lost anyway. My
Right.
product doesn't deserve to have dust on it,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So that's how that I take it, and me, I'm just like I said, I have a mission and a purpose behind my brand. My mission and my purpose behind my brand is to give back with a hands-on
I was just
approach.
going to bring that up. I was just going to say, because I know that a lot of the proceeds, if I'm not mistaken, go toward charity.
Well, they go directly. Well, right now, well, due to the pandemic, so what we did was during the pandemic, we fed nurses, doctors, and janitors. And I fed the janitors because they were essential during this pandemic because they had to clean everything up.
Right.
And what we did was we ran contests on Facebook and we did raffles and stuff and everything. And then RocaBella Gives, and then my the Captain Markley fund, we gave lunch and dinner meals to nurses, doctors, and janitors throughout New Jersey, to the hospitals and nursing homes, and then to the fireman home way up north. But in speaking with these nurses, they didn't have any equipment.
Mm.
They were asking for masks. They
Mm.
wanted clothing protection, gloves. And I was like, oh my God, so we got some for um firefighter Larry Curtin. He retired. He went to and got some stuff for a hospital to try to
Okay.
help them. It was like unbelievable.
Mm.
So I started doing that. So during the pandemic, I was supposed to have several events, and I couldn't have them because everything was closed down.
Right.
So we're rebuilding RocaBella Gives. RocaBella gives to first responder, fallen first
Mm.
responder widows and children with a hands-on approach. The whiskey that I'm coming out with is to build a safe haven for animals because
Love
my
it.
animals are adopted,
Love it.
you know.
Love it.
So, and there's different things that I want to do, but it's one step at a time, you know.
Right.
And if an organization really needs me and they really need something, um, I'm going to meet them directly, and I'm going to
Right.
see where that those funds go.
Right. So,
You know,
we're already in May of 2022, which I can't even believe that.
I
It's the
know,
pretty much the middle of the year already.
and I'm hustling.
And so what are some goals? I know, what are some goals of yours by the end of the year? What do you want to see for yourself and the company?
Well, I really do have a lot of good things coming up, which I can't talk about right now, which I will be able to talk about soon. The doors are
Okay.
opening up quickly for me. I am in the middle of having a clothing line, starting off with
Wow.
bathing suits. Yes. So I'm going to be creating non-alcohol products, botanicals.
Okay.
I already have my cocktails only 5%. It's a step process of what I'm doing. I'm building my brand.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I want right. Just the more I build it, the more successful I am, the more I
Right.
could do good in the world.
Right.
And it
Absolutely.
takes one person. And even if that one person is me and my team and everyone that I work with and that works with me, I want them to be involved in charity work,
Absolutely. Hmm.
and it just takes a few minutes out of your time,
Hmm.
you know, and look, to me, when a child, they should just never know, but they're not, just because they can make it regardless of where they come from, you know. And that a lot of these children that come from low income families strive better than someone that comes from a rich family.
Well, because they know what it is not to have, and they're willing to put in the work.
Exactly. And that was my husband,
Uh, what was it?
so
Would you be able to share his background or his story,
um well, my
or
husband, mm,
some of it?
yeah, so well, my husband, he his mom, his dad passed away when he was young. And
Mm.
then he had, his two sisters, Pammy and Patty, and his brother Joe. And I was introduced to Mark by his sister Pammy.
Mhm.
And Mark came from a family of firefighters.
Okay.
and he went and he used to sweep a candy store. He would do anything to make money. He built a roofing business.
Wow.
He was a really good bartender. He was a really good bartender, and he made very good tips. Um, and then he really wanted to be a firefighter.
Mm.
And when I met him, he would say, "I'm going to be a firefighter." And I said, "Okay." And he did. He became a firefighter. He was a great firefighter, and he became a captain.
Mm.
But he went beyond his work.
Mm.
See, Mark went beyond his work. And when he had passed away, he donated 100 pieces of his skin to the St. Barnabas burn unit.
Wow.
And he donated his coronals to a little girl.
Wow.
So, that's just who he was. And,
Just
I came from, again, I came from a different background than Mark came from. My parents were divorced, but I came from a different, side of town. And,
yeah.
we both came from different lifestyles, but we experienced a lot of the same things.
Mm.
My parents divorced when I was, 19.
Mm.
I had my daughter Jennifer when I was 17.
Wow.
And then I had to raise my brothers because my mom, she, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Mm.
So she went through a lot, and so he went through a lot in a different way than I went through, and we helped each other and we balanced each other out,
Right.
So regardless of, where you come from, everyone always has a story,
Absolutely. And you can
you know.
do, and you're showing it. You can do it. If you really want something, you can do it.
Oh, absolutely. If someone says you can't do something, do it twice and take a picture. That's what my motto is. I'm like, listen, I don't care how old you are. As long
Right.
as you still got your feet on the ground, you
As
could
long
do
as you're,
anything.
as long as you're still breathing, you woke up that morning, you can do it.
I get up out of bed, put my feet on the ground. Thank you, Jesus. I'm ready to start my day. And
Yes.
it's like,
Let's do this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, people say stuff to me now, and I'll say to them, "Oh, from your mouth to God's ears," you know.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's where I decided to create on Facebook just a Facebook page called Life's Journey, because we all have where our life is taking us in the journey. And
Yes.
my journey is different than everybody's journey, and you can
Yes.
always learn from someone else's experience.
Absolutely.
And especially now with everything that's going on in this world, whether you chose to go left, right, yellow, middle, up and down, we all are experiencing different things in life and our
Yes.
journey. And so and I just post stuff and share everyone's journey of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So people don't even know, like, they'll be like, "Oh, what's this page about?" And I say, "Oh, just you want to post something if you're at a band or at a show or getting married or had a grandkid, whatever you want,
Love
you
it.
know."
Love
But
it.
I'm more about, I want women to know, especially young girls, no matter what you go through in life,
Mm.
you're
Mm.
strong enough to make it. You can make it. you
Mm.
know yes, they're, nothing against men, love men, they're good men or whatever, but it's time for the women now. It's time for us to stand up and say, "You know what, I don't care if your company has billions and billions of dollars, and I'm just this little person from New Jersey that's walking in your heels now, saying, 'Move over,' because guess what, I'm just going to be working by the side by you right there.
Absolutely.
We're going to be together working." I mean,
Absolutely.
what's wrong with that? People don't see it that way. It's always competition,
Doesn't have to
you
be like
know?
that. And like I said earlier, things are slowly but surely changing for the better, I believe, in business. It
I
doesn't
do
have
too.
to be cutthroat like this. I mean, there's more than enough to go around, and everyone can win here.
Right. They can. And you know
Yeah.
what? So you just need one person. You just need one person to listen to you.
Yeah.
That's something that I learned. Because me, it used to be everybody used to listen to me. I talk, I
Yeah.
do this. Now it's now in this business, you just got to get one person to open up the door. That's
One
it. One
person,
person.
the right person can completely change the trajectory of your life.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's what it takes. But it's like,
Mhm.
okay, like, what do you have? What's this? What's that? And you just walk in yourself, and they're like, "Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, God, we love you. Okay, you love me so much. All right, but buy my brand. You know, buy my brand. Put the money in the account so I can go help somebody.
Exactly. You know,
You know,
that's a
same
topic
as-
that we've talked about before on this show, and we'll talk about it now because this is it comes up a lot. It's like, you know what, if you're my friend and you're supporting me, don't ask me for a deal or discount. Just, you know, buy the thing, support the thing.
Right, right, right. Exactly. Support it. Well, you know what? This is, you know, 2015.
Hmm.
I talked to my husband about this previous, and he was gonna. I would say, when you retire, there's something that I would like to do. And he said, "What is that?" And I said, "I would love to do dollars across America." And he said to me, "What is that?" I said, "Well, I'd like to go to the rich neighborhoods,
Mhm.
collect dollars from everybody, and go knock on someone's door and see if
Mm.
they need in the poor areas, and ask them if they need food on the table, or if they
Mm.
need to get an electric bill paid, or if their
Mm.
kids need shoes on their feet or
Mm.
clothing."
Mm.
He goes, "Oh God, Cheryl, that's going to take forever." He said, "But you know what? Maybe we could start out small." And I said to him, "We can bring a camera, people do like a documentary. Mark, we only need other people, one person to follow us, then it goes, and it's like a domino effect."
Yes.
Well, and I'm going to say it right now. I wrote to Ellen DeGeneres and to Oprah Winfrey, telling them my whole story.
Mhm.
Never heard back from them.
Well, you know what, Cheryl, we would be open to doing that
That would be beautiful.
because I love this idea, and I love randomly giving out to whoever, whatever. It's been a big part of my life, and that's just, you know, it is what it is. And I'm saying this because I think that's a great idea, and I would love to film that if you wanted us to.
Wouldn't that be cool? Just knocking
Yeah,
on somebody's
I
door
love it.
and saying,
I
"You know
love it.
what? Are you behind on what bill? Give it to me and I go pay it.
I love it. I
You want to go
love it.
shopping? You need a food card? Let's go."
I love it.
What's wrong with that? It's
Nothing.
great. It's
Yeah.
awesome. If
And you know,
everybody did that,
it's great for the person receiving it. And I know that you're not thinking about this, but karma wise or whatever you want, energy wise, it's amazing on you too. It's a win-win. Everyone wins
oh
out of it.
yes, the energy that I feel when I'm with these children, and I'm close. We're close to a lot of, um, a lot of the families, and my son is especially close with a lot of the families, because not
Mm,
only does he give the gifts, he goes back and teaches these kids how to ride their bikes. He tries
mm.
to get them into the kids into programs, after school programs. But
Wow.
even during this pandemic now, when we weren't allowed to have our wrapping, or going to people's homes and stuff, my son said, "You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go out into the streets, Mom." And we
Mm,
did.
mm,
We go out, it's snowing, we're there.
mm,
And they
mm.
all wait, come get their presents, firemen come, the companies help us, the community helps, and we still give out the toys,
Love it.
because
Love
that's
it.
what you have to do. You can't stop. The only thing
Absolutely.
is, yeah, we had a walk for my husband. We did a walk. I was working with the American Cancer Fund. It's a small um, organization that does research and stuff on cancer. And we were doing it at Liberty State Park. We had hundreds and hundreds of people. We had people come from Australia
Mm,
because they read about it, and they
mm.
came. And we couldn't do it for 2 years because of, Liberty State Park, has their rules and regulations, So we're going to put that back up again, hopefully next year. The guy
Mm,
Henry called me.
mm.
I also partnered with Compel America, which is for anti-bullying,
Okay.
to do programs for that. And Mike Krogan, he just added mental illness,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
program. He's got his degree. But my grandson was bullied, and you don't
Yeah.
know, and you speak up, you know.
Yeah.
But there's just so much going on in this world right now. Like, really, you want to hurt one another with everything that's going on in other countries and stuff. And I don't choose to be ignorant and
Yeah.
ignore it,
Yeah.
but I chose to be happy, because
Also, you know, you're
I only
part of the solution, not part of the problem here.
right. I only have one life to live, like the
Yes,
soap opera.
absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
the soap opera, One Life to Live. I only have one life
Absolutely.
to live. So with everything that I've been through in my life, which is really going to be a book, it should be. Everything that I went through in my life, I just want to, like, enjoy my life, and
Yeah.
and my poor kids. I mean, what my son goes through all the time, and what, my daughter with her baby, who's only 2, thank God she doesn't need formula and everything that's going on. My
Right.
grandson, who's 13, he couldn't even go to his prom. He couldn't, you know what I mean? Enjoy your everyday life. So
You got
my job,
some days are not going to be huge, massive, amazing, productive days. You got to enjoy the small, even tiny, tiny, tiny wins, or you got to look at, what's going right, even though could be a bunch of things going wrong or not an ideal situation at that moment. Moments
right?
change moment by moment. Anything can change at any moment. You got to have a lot of faith. Your faith is going to be tested. You have to have a lot of strength and
Yes.
vision and foresight.
Yeah. Yep. You just
So
gotta, yeah. And you know what? And like you say, entrepreneur. I'm I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm there, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when I can present the checks
mm,
to these families
mm,
from RocaBella Brands going into
mm,
RocaBella Gives, then I
mm.
made it.
Love it. Love it.
Then I made it. Right now, I'm just getting out there. I'm pushing myself. I'm doing everything I can, um, to be that entrepreneur, to be
Yes.
that 2%, to
Yes.
be that other big brand, to be that,
Yes.
but in a different way with a twist on it, because I'm unique. I'm not like everybody else,
Well,
and I
Miss
don't want
Cheryl,
to be like.
I could talk to you literally all night long, but I want everyone to know where they can find you, how they can find you, how they can get your goods.
Okay, so you can go to rockabellabrands.com. That's my website. Then
Hmm.
you can go to RocaBella Brands on Instagram,
Hmm.
RocaBella Brands on Facebook. We're on Twitter, RocaBella Brands. We're on Twitter. If they would like to donate, or we're building our page, rockabellagives.org. That is my charity.
Okay.
Um, and then they could, like I said, they can read about me. They can send me messages. I'd love to, connect. On my website is all my locations. Like I said, Kelly's liquor store in Belleville, he delivers.
Yes.
We're at restaurant, yeah. So, Total Wine, ShopRite, you know. So
I'm also going to say too, people that are not necessarily in your area to watch out for your stuff nationwide because you're moving and grooving.
oh, I am. Let me tell you something.
Down here.
It's one state at a time, and you have to do every state has their own regulations.
Yes.
So I also have my wholesale license in all 50 states.
Okay.
So I applied
Well,
and I got on my wholesale license. But again, you're working with your distributor and stuff, and I'm trying to keep my costs, down where, a lot of people can't go out there and, spend all this money. So I'm keeping everything down so they can enjoy RocaBella. And you know what? And it's a good thing too, as we say, thank you for purchasing it and pass it forward. And
absolutely.
we truly appreciate it. And I'd love to meet everybody one day out. They tell me, Cheryl, you can't be in every state, but I will try to get to every state, at least one location to meet my retailers and my customers.
I love it. Everyone, please do follow Cheryl, connect with Cheryl, message Cheryl, go on the websites, reach out to her. Ladies and men, let's support the brand. Let's support what's going on. Remember this face because you're going to be seeing her quite a bit. So thank you, Cheryl, for taking the time and being with us. Again, reach out to Cheryl. She's amazing. Sweet lady, a lot going on. You're going to be seeing more of her. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching Luxe Life. And we will see you all again next week. Bye, everybody.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.